Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Jennifer. Subscribe below, hit that button below if you haven't already to become part of our Zen Mobile Yoga tribe. And you can also find some neat information out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Today we're going to be talking about a recovery practice, using yoga as a recovery practice. And an asana practice, or the postures alone, as a part of yoga, is a great recovery workout for anyone, especially those that lift weights. And it really doesn't matter if you're doing strength training, if you're doing a workout in front of your TV at home using 1-pound dumbbells, or if your gains are getting you trophies at competitions, like Mr. Bones here. With all of those, some of the common concerns can be stiffness of the muscles, or just shortness or tightening throughout the whole body. And in the long run, this could cause injury because of muscle stress. This sequence is going to counteract those pitfalls. We're going to open, we're going to lengthen, and just overall you're going to feel great. And feeling great and preventing injuries is going to make you an overall better athlete. Let's get started. So we're going to use a bolster today to start out. You can just grab a nearby couple of pillows off your couch. If you have a long pillow like this, that's great, but it's not necessary. Just something that's going to allow you to lie down and open up the chest. If you have really tight hamstrings, you'll also want to have a strap nearby. You can use a dog leash or some sort of rope or an exercise band as well. So we're just going to use the bolster and move it a couple inches away from the body, and then bring our legs out straight in front of us, and then begin to line up the spine on the bolster or the pillows as you lie down, making sure that there's somewhere for you to rest your head so the cervical spine or the neck is aligned with the rest of the spine. And then you're just going to bring your arms out to the sides with the palms facing the ceiling. And you'll probably notice here that there's already a stretch happening in the pectoral muscles. You're opening up the shoulders. If you're not feeling too much of a stretch here, you'll notice that the closer you bring your hands towards your head or towards the top of the bolster, the more of a stretch you get. So find out what's comfortable for you, where you're getting a gentle stretch, not an uncomfortable stretch. You might even be all the way down here, and that's fine too. Once you found your spot, go ahead and let the feet hang out to the sides of the body. And we're just going to breathe here for a few moments. And there's a benefit to being still, especially when you are in a routine where you feel that constant movement, constant working of the muscles. As far as recovery goes, we want to focus on the breath to make sure that we are giving oxygen to every cell of the body, which is important for the muscles to recover. So let's go ahead, close the eyes if you'd like. Make sure the chin is down just a little bit so the forehead is a little bit higher than the chin to help us focus inward. And then we're just going to notice the breath. Just notice your pattern of breathing without judgment. Maybe you'll notice that you have some shallow breathing. Maybe you are just engaging the upper half of the torso, so the chest. Maybe you just feel the chest rising. The diaphragm is going to engage regardless, but what we would like to do is change the shape of the belly and the chest. So as you breathe in, inhale, expanding the belly, and then carry that breath up to the chest, expanding the chest. And then just exhale normally. And see if you can continue doing that, making the inhalations deeper and the exhalations longer. And really just coming back to the natural rhythm of your breath. So inhale deeply. Exhale completely. If you're running out of stretch on the arms, go ahead and move the arms up a little bit. And for those of you that do perform on stage, this pattern of the breath is really what you want to be looking for maybe before performance to help with anxiety. Having that exhalation be longer than the inhalation is going to keep your body in a state of rest and relaxation or rest and digest rather than the fight or flight. Just something to keep in mind. And as we go through our practice today, be sure that you return to this slow, steady breath with each pose. Take a moment to notice where you're feeling the stiffness in the body, where you're feeling the soreness or the shortness of the muscles. Where are you tight? Notice if maybe one leg is longer than the other. Even as your arms are stretching, you might notice that you're feeling more of an intense stretch on one arm than you are the other. And this is all totally normal, just for observation, just to learn a little bit about your body. And we'll take one more deep breath here. And exhale. And then go ahead and very slowly bend the knees. We're going to roll onto our side, taking our time, just so we can move this bolster off to the side and focus on our hamstrings. So grab your strap, lie down on your back. So let's go ahead and take our strap and wrap it around the ball of the right foot. And then we're going to grab that strap with our right hand. The left leg is extended. You can use your left hand to press down on the left leg because we want that leg to stay active. We want the toes up towards the ceiling the whole time. And as we bring this right leg up, we want to be sure that we're feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. We don't want to be, injuring our knee. So if you're feeling that in the back of the knee, you can go ahead and bend your knee a little bit. But the goal here is not height, okay? The goal is to keep the leg straight in the center line of the body and just bringing it straight up. So we're not bringing the leg up out to the side. It's okay if you don't get the leg all the way up. Another option here is to interlace your fingers behind the knee and then straighten the leg this way. And once you feel enough of a stretch, you can go ahead and stop. We'll take a few breaths here. Left leg is still active. I'll go back to the strap while you breathe. Relax the muscles in the face. Relax the shoulders towards the mat. And imagine sending that breath to the muscles that are tight. We want to release the muscles. We want to get to the belly of the muscle and lengthen. We'll take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and begin to open the leg out to the side. We have 3 hamstrings and we're going to be touching on all of them. So go ahead and bring that leg out to the side. Take a breath here. Left leg is still active. Glue the left hip to the mat. Slowly bring that leg back to center. And now we're going to cross over the center line, but it's not going to be a huge, it might be just a couple inches. You're going to start feeling it in your IT band. So switch hands. Left hand grabs the strap. Right hand can go out to the side. Left leg is still active. Toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And you're just going to bring that right leg over the center line. Take a couple of breaths. We're not lifting the right hip. We're keeping that down. Pelvis is down on the mat. I know you feel it. I feel it too. Take another breath. And then exhale, come back to center. Go ahead and bend the knee. Release the foot and bring it to the other side. So actually take a moment here to feel both legs. You might feel like the right leg is longer now. It's kind of neat. So bring the strap around the ball of the left foot. Same thing, grab the strap with the left hand now. right leg is active. You can use the right hand, press down on the thigh to keep it, just as a reminder to press down and keep that leg active. And then this leg might be different than the other one, so just go ahead and bring it up the center line. I'm stopping here because I feel it here. And we're going to take a couple of breaths. Flex both feet, relax the muscles in the face, relax the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. Inhale real deep. Exhale completely. And then begin to glue the right hip down, opening the left leg out to the side. Good. Just go as far as you can. If you have something nearby that you can rest the foot on, that's okay too. Like putting a block under the foot would be an option. If you want to stay in this position longer, and stretch the inside of the leg, the adductors. And then exhale, come back to center. Grab the straps with your right hand, left hand out to the side. Keep that right leg active, and the left leg is just going to cross over the center line until you feel that stretch in the outside of the leg. And take 2 more breaths here. Breathe in deep. Exhale completely. One more. Relax the eyes, relax the mouth. No gripping in the face whatsoever. Come back to center. Go ahead and bend that knee and release the strap. We want to come into a supine pigeon stretch now. There's many ways to do pigeon, but we're going to just continue this on our back for a moment. The right ankle is going to come up to the left knee. Okay, and this is going to, you'll feel a stretch in the outer hip. You'll get deep into the glutes where that piriformis muscle is. For those of you that run or lift, there's a real shortening of the piriformis muscle that happens, and sometimes it is mistaken for sciatic nerve pressure because it can be really painful. So this should give you a solution. So right ankle to left knee, we're going to keep the feet flexed. Reach behind the left leg, okay? And then you're going to draw the left knee towards the chest. And now I want you to press the tailbone down into the mat just a little bit. You'll have just a little tilt there. Press that right knee away from you. And you should really get a good stretch here. We're going to take a few breaths. Breathe in deep. And exhale completely. And again, I'm always going to come to releasing the muscles in the face. Just kind of notice if you're squeezing your eyebrows together or if you're clenching your teeth. Take one more breath here. See if you can draw that knee a little bit closer, right knee away from you. And then go ahead and release. And we'll do the other side. Left ankle to right knee. Go ahead and reach behind the right thigh and draw that knee close to you. And then go ahead and press the tailbone towards the mat. Take the left knee away from you, kind of just squaring everything out to get that deeper stretch. And we'll take 3 breaths here. This can be a pretty intense stretch on the outer left hip or the outside of the hip, left side in this case. So really just notice that. Notice if it's different on one side than it is the other. Use that information, for your practice. Use it for your strengthening, conditioning, whatever it is that you're doing. It'll be beneficial information for that as well. One more breath here. And as you exhale, imagine the muscles that are tight just releasing, melting. And then go ahead and bring that right foot down to the mat, left foot down to the mat. We're gonna come to our stomachs. So we're gonna take an opportunity here to lengthen the abdominal muscles. Bring the hands to the lower ribs, and then the tops of your feet will be flat on the mat. You're gonna be pressing the toes down, all the toes, even the pinky toes. We're taking the shoulder blades, the inner edges of the shoulder blades together and down towards the tailbone. The glutes are engaged here, and as you breathe in, you're going to press the hands, press the feet, and lift. Keep the elbows close to the body. And then lengthen the spine. So lengthen the vertebrae by activating the legs. The legs are heavy, the heart is light. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lower. If you're feeling any compression in the lower spine as you do this, you can come lower into a baby cobra instead of all the way up here. Listen to your body, and also kind of imagine lengthening vertebra by vertebra as you reach up. Inhale, reach. Legs are active. Exhale, come back down. We're gonna do that one more time, but this time we're coming into an up dog, which means our pelvis and our legs will be off the mat as well. In the cobra, the pelvis is down. Up dog, it is up. Take a deep breath in, press the hands, press the toes, lift the body. And then go ahead, exhale. We're gonna come onto our knees. Knees are gonna be as wide as the mat at least. Bring the big toes together and sit on the heels. Now I know some of you will not be able to be sitting on your heels, and that is okay. If you have knee problems, you can shift your weight forward and rest in your child's pose here. Or we can use the same pillow or bolster that you were using before and put that on top of the calf muscles and come into our child's pose here. If you're having pains on the top of the feet, you can roll the mats and put some cushion underneath the feet. So there's many different ways, and I actually have a tutorial on different modifications for child's pose. It looks like an easy pose, but it's not for a large percentage of people. So we're gonna take a breath or two here. And if you're able to come all the way down, reach the arms forward, lengthen the spine. Sitting bones are heavy on the heels as you reach forward. Rest your forehead on the mat. Just do the best you can for today. We're going to walk the hands to the right, feeling a stretch in the left side of the body, and then rest towards the mat. Soften towards the mat. Slowly walk the hands to the left. We're reaching the lower quadrants of the back here. In our twisting postures, we are able to release the muscles in the lower back, as well as the other benefits that it has. Doing this kind of reaches those muscles that are hard to get at. So now opening the right side of the body. And then walk the hands back to center. We're gonna come up onto hands and knees and come into a down dog. So Adho Mukha Svanasana here, downward facing dog. If you've never done it before, we'll take it slow, but I also have a tutorial on this. Curl the toes under and lift the hip sockets up to the ceiling. The goal here is not straight legs. You can keep the knees bent. This is a spine lengthener. So we wanna make sure that we are getting the spine as long as we can from the neck all the way out through the tailbone. Nice long line. Press the roots of the fingers into the mat. Deepen the armpits, press the thigh bones up and back. And then here we're gonna stretch out the calves. So this is our first down dog. We're gonna move a little bit. None of these poses are static. We're gonna be constantly moving and changing and going deeper and breathing and lengthening and doing all of those actions. It's the dance of yoga. So it never has to be perfect, and it will always change. So as if you're just walking, just pedaling your feet, stretching out the calf muscles a little bit, and then we'll come back into down dog. So just stop your walking, and we'll go ahead and just come to the front of our mats. Drag your feet, your legs, whatever you have to do. We're going to inhale and come halfway up. So lengthen through the crown of the head. We're opening the chest. We're getting the body nice and long. You'll feel a lengthening of the hamstrings. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees as generously as you need to for this if you have tight hamstrings. All four corners of the feet pressing into the mat. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. These forward folds are calming for the nervous system. After workouts, especially if you're a weightlifter, there's a lot of stress that happens on the body, on the cardiovascular system. These are going to be calming for the body. Inhale, halfway lift. Also, you're strengthening the back here. Exhale, fold forward, press the feet. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. One more time. Inhale, reach as high up as you can. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, see if you can get those knees a little bit straighter, legs a little bit straighter. Come up halfway. Not on the knees, but on the quads or on the shins. Wherever you can get that nice flat back, reaching out through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold forward. Press the feet. Inhale, swoop the arms up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Good. Go ahead and grab your strap or whatever it is that you have. And I just wanted to point out as we come into, Tadasana pose or mountain pose, just to kind of read the body for a moment. This is where we want to be in standing in alignment to heal the body, to strengthen areas we might compensate, because we're either, hanging out on one leg, letting the hip go out to the side, hanging out on the ligaments, or, we're shifting our weight too far back, or we might be tilting the pelvis too far forward, which is going to shorten our hip flexors, or we might be tucked. We might, tuck too far under, which will shorten the hamstrings and eventually cause lower back pain and all kinds of stuff. So what we want to do is find that neutral position. If you feel the pelvic rim, we're not too far tipping forward, we're not too far tipping back, we're neutral, and that's what we're looking for. When you're carrying or lifting heavy weights and that, of course, there does have to be a little bit of a tuck there, but as far as regular standing, we want that curvature in the lower lumbar. Just a side note. Go ahead and take your strap, hold it in your right arm, bring it all the way up, bicep next to your ear, and then we're just gonna bend at the elbow. You might already feel a stretch here in the tricep area. Left hand, palm facing away, reach, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen the arm, reach behind you. Now, if you can grab your fingertips, go ahead and do that. If you need longer arms, that's what the strap is there to do. So standing in our mountain pose, our Tadasana, parallel feet, pelvis is neutral, chest is lifted or sternum is lifted up towards the ceiling. We're just going to stand here for a moment and breathe, chin parallel to the floor, and feel that stretch in our arms. Go ahead, take a deep breath in, come back to that breath that we were practicing in the beginning. Be sure you're not closing up or tilting the head down. Even if you have to make your arms really long in order to get that chest lifted, that's what we're looking to do. One more. Inhale real deep. And then exhale. Release the left hand. Bring the right arm back up. We're just going, this is just a fancy way to switch arms. So go ahead, left bicep to ear, bend at the elbow. Right hand faces away, lengthen, lengthen. So we're really reaching and then reaching up for that strap. Feeling that amazing stretch in the left arm now. Sternum is lifted, chin is parallel to the floor. And all the weight is distributed evenly in our feet. Remember, we're not tucking. We have that neutral pelvis. But what we are doing is gathering in the lower belly and lengthening internally. So we're getting tall on the inside, out through the crown of the head. And find your breath. One more. Breathe in real deep. Exhale. And then go ahead and release the right hand and bring the left arm down. Good. Keep this. We're still going to use it. We're going to widen the legs. Ideally or theoretically, we want the wrists directly over the ankles. I would be way out here. So we can always adjust later. You see where you are and you can adjust later. Important thing is that toes are pointing forward, almost a little bit pigeon-toed. We need the knees to line up with the ankles and not injure our joints, so that's important. We're going to bring the strap behind us. So wide leg forward bend here, grabbing the strap. We're not going to bend with our back. We're going to keep everything open, and we'll start by just grabbing. Some of you are going to be more flexible in the shoulders than others, so just see where you are. You can always adjust where your hands are after we are in our forward fold. Legs are strong, so activate those quads. Knees are not loosey-goosey here. Really important that the legs are supporting you. And you're just going to sink the hip sockets back and hinge forward. And begin to bring the arms up. Your hamstrings will probably stop you before your arms do. Just be sure that those legs are nice and strong. And then just let the arms hang forward. If this is not your jam, that's totally fine. You can stay there or just bring your hands here and focus on the hamstring stretch. Let the head drop. Another option is to grab the fingers behind your back and let them fall forward that way. Just listen to where your body is today. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. Let go of the muscles in the back of the neck. I'll say it one more time because we never do it. Let go of the muscles in the back of the neck. The head always wants to know what's going on, but this is your opportunity to just let go and release. Engage the quads. Press the outer ankle to the inner ankle, so we don't want the ankles to be rolling out either. See if you can inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And see if you can hinge forward a little bit more. If not, that's okay. Stay where you are. One more breath. Press the feet. You can micro bend the knees a little bit just to protect the lower back. Bring the hands to the hip creases and lift yourself back up. You can walk or hop your feet back together. The one last standing pose I'd like to do with you, coming back to that wide leg stance. We're going to, from the hip socket, turn this left leg out 90 degrees so the toes are facing completely forward. This back foot, we're going to just drop the heel back a little bit. And ideally, we're standing on, parallel lines, not on one tightrope. So allow the space to be there. You could be heel to heel or even a little bit wider. We're going to bend the left knee. So the knee, the shin is perpendicular to the floor, but as long as it's not going over, that's the most important thing. It could be a little bit behind. We're going to bring the left forearm down to the left thigh. This right arm comes up, okay, palm facing behind you. And the bicep as close to the ear as you can. If your arm or your shoulders are tight, it's not gonna make it here. That's fine. You'll get there, okay? Just take the action. And then these right ribs, they're kind of sticking out. We're gonna pull that in a little bit and lengthen a little bit more, keeping the left shoulder away from the left ear. So we're not hanging out here. And take a couple of breaths. Press that back heel. All four corners of the front foot. The right glute is tucking forward just a little bit. So not tucking the tailbone, but just kind of releasing the tailbone. Take another breath here. And then go ahead and Come back up to that wide leg stance. And we're gonna do the other side. So from the hip socket, right foot out 90 degrees, drop that back heel, and then bend the right knee. We don't want the knee to be falling in or falling out. We wanna align that knee with the second and third toes of the foot. So if you do find that it's going in a little bit, straighten the leg, engage the quad. You need to use the quad muscles. Externally rotate the thigh so the knee is lined up, and then keep that as you bend it back down. Right forearm to right thigh, left arm up and over. So you'll notice again that it is opening the left side of the body as you reach, and that palm is facing behind you. Okay, you can even drop the heel a little bit more, the back heel. But pull the left ribs in just a little bit so you can get that length. And the right ear is away from the right shoulder. If you need more of a balance challenge, which is always good for making your bones stronger, you can look up and find your breath here. Same slow, steady breath as in the beginning, even in these challenging poses. One more breath. And then go ahead and release and release and release. So one last thing I want to do before we come into our squat and then our shavasana, or our relaxation at the end, is a quick little quad stretch. You could use the wall, or you can just hang out in the middle of the room. Shift all of your weight to the left leg. Grab the right ankle with your right foot. You're going to just have to listen to my voice here and not look at the screen, and find a focus point on the floor, okay? Untuck, your armpits, get the shoulder blades together, and bring that right heel towards the butt. You've done this 1,000 times, right? See if you can do it on one leg. You'll tilt the pelvis under, or lift the belly button so you can feel maybe the hip flexor stretching and the quad. And if you really would like a challenge, you can come into dancer pose, which is pressing the foot into the hand. So you're grabbing the ankle, the foot is flexed, and you're breathing. Use the arm out front to help you balance. And then very slowly release the foot. That's just a challenge, maybe not for today, but if you're feeling it, go for it. Let's do the other side. Shift the weight to the right leg. The muscles are hugging the bones. Find your focus point. Grab the ankle, not the foot. And we want to be sure that we're able to keep the chest open the whole time, okay? Feel that stretch in the quadriceps, in the hip flexor. And then if you would like to press the shin or the ankle into the hand, begin to tip forward, you can do that. Sink the right hip crease back. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then slowly release. Good, shake it out a little bit. Let's come into a squat. Not the kind of squat you're thinking, but an actual come down to the ground squat. This is not accessible for a lot of people. You can sit on a block, or you can roll up a blanket or your mat to put underneath the heels. And then you will eventually get there. Might take years, and that's okay, but eventually you'll get there. This is something that we can do easily as children, but our muscles get tight, we form habits, and we sit in chairs a lot. So we lose the lengthening of our hamstrings and things like that to be able to do this as adults. Elbows are going to press the inner knees, and if you can bring the hands together, go ahead and do that. And just notice how this releases the lower back. check, right? You might even feel a stretch in the ankles, lots of plus. And then if you have any digestion problems, this is going to help that. So this releases the organs, you know, gravity kind of helps them fall towards the ground and create some space for them. We'll just take one more breath here. And then go ahead and come to a seated position, whichever way is easiest for you. So for our Shavasana, or a relaxation that we do at the end of every asana practice, or you know, doing the postures, it's just really important to be still, to allow the work that you've done in your body to kind of manifest, you know, the ideas that you have in your mind, what you've learned new about your body, to train the muscles, and just kind of let all of that soak in. So these last few minutes may not seem important, but they are important. And if you are struggling with lying down, being still for a few moments, you might want to explore that and see why. So I want to do legs up the wall for our Shavasana, because when we are working out on a regular basis, having the legs up the wall, even for just a regular person working in the office who's not lifting weights or running or doing any of that stuff, it's very calming to the nervous system. So go ahead and scoot your butt all the way up to the wall and then bring the legs up. And now again, theoretically, you're going to be like this with the legs up. If you have tight hamstrings, you will be further away from the wall. So you find wherever is good for you. And then with our legs up, you know, we're not going to force anything. We're just going to relax the legs. And we want our shoulder blades to be flat on the mat. And let's just go ahead and put our hands on our belly so we can focus on our breath, focus on our breathing. When we're lying still in Shavasana, we notice that maybe there are, you know, we still have all these thoughts and fears and worries that come into our mind, anxieties about this and that, thinking about the future, worrying about the past. And this is our moment, our opportunity, and it's really a gift for the body to just go ahead and be still and observe those things, but using our breath to come back to the present moment, the here and now. So we are going to close our eyes and we're going to breathe. And I want you to go ahead and do that now. Close your eyes, hands on your belly. Feet are just hanging out to the sides. And as you begin to settle, noticing the belly expanding on your inhalation and contracting on your exhalation. Notice that any thoughts that do come to mind, that there's this pause or space in between those thoughts. And I want you to begin focusing on that. So letting the thoughts come and go, and knowing that's okay, we're doing it without judgment, but beginning to focus on those spaces in between the thoughts. Letting the wall support you, letting the ground support you, and taking this as an opportunity for self-care, recovery, and giving yourself permission to just be for the next moment or two. You can begin to widen the feet or bring the ankles further away from each other. Notice the sensation in the legs. And then you can bring the feet flat on the wall, bending the knees. And observing how that feels. And then lastly, rolling onto your right side. Using your arm as a pillow. Taking one last deep breath in, gathering up any extra stress or tension that you're holding onto in the body, and then opening the mouth, and on your exhale, just letting all of that go. Using the strength of your arms to push you up safely into any seated position that you'd like. And coming together with me for just a moment, bringing your hands in front of your heart and allowing me to thank you for letting me guide you, and honoring yourself for taking the time to take care of your body today. Namaste.